Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Sean with the Online Creator Studio, and I about a week ago went to the Wedding and Portrait Photographer International in Las Vegas, also known as WPPI, and this was my first time going, so I thought I'd share a few thoughts about it. I signed up for a photo walk Monday evening with Seth Miranda. He kind of had an interesting take on it. He said, you can go on these photo walks where a photographer sets up a shot and everybody gets the exact same shot, and you see everybody who attended that walk with the same photo on Instagram. So he decided to turn it into more of a class and teach some different lighting setups and what we could do in this little room that we met that had horrible lighting, horrible looking carpet and everything along those lines. And he made it more of a discussion in the class, and rather than everybody taking a picture, he just kind of took pictures of each setup so you could kind of see how the how the light was working. So I thought it was actually pretty beneficial for that. I did originally go down with the intention of wanting to shoot a lot more than I did, but I did think that he was correct and that you don't really learn as much by just doing the exact same thing of a setup that someone else has already done for you. The real key is to go home and try out these lighting setups for yourself. So the next day, on Tuesday, was the first day of the show floor opening. And I was actually surprised by kind of how small the show floor was, but that was because I've been to the Consumer Electronics Show, and that's pretty much the only other trade show I've been to, and that show is just so big that there's really nothing to compare it with. But all the major companies are there. You have Canon, you have Nikon, you have Sony, you have Westcott Lighting, you have B&H Photo and Adorama, and so pretty much anything that you would want to look at is generally there. And it's really easy to get a free show floor pass. And if that's all you intend to do, you could do that really in one day and not need to be there the whole time, because it really doesn't take that long to walk around the show floor. So obviously, being a Canon shooter, I did spend a lot of time at the Canon booth. One of the things that they had on display was the newly announced EOS R5. And it was, of course, in a glass case, though, so you couldn't really take a look at it or see like the card slots or some of the things that haven't been announced yet. But looking at it, it looks slightly larger than the EOS R, which makes sense to accommodate the dual card slots. And it was just nice to, I guess, see it in person and a little bit up close, even though you couldn't actually hold it or do anything outside of looking at it in the case. Canon had a great setup with their stage, where they had several photographers present on different things like lighting or business tips, and some post-processing too. Several of them were explorers of light as well, and people that I'm familiar with, at least through watching online videos and tutorials. So it was great to get to see them in person and sit in on many of their presentations. On the show floor, there were many shooting opportunities. As I mentioned, I spent a lot of time at the Canon booth, and they had two setups. They had a noir setup that was pretty cool, and with kind of some more dramatic lighting, and a cookie that was spreading shadows on the background. And then they also had a mock kind of wedding setup with kind of a swing with the bride and groom, which was pretty cool. Nikon also had theirs, which was kind of more of a dimly lit candle piano type setup with a model there. Let's see, Savage also had a great setup with a ring light, which is the first time I've ever shot with a ring light. And they had a competition as well where you tagged them on Instagram, and I happened to win a roll of Savage paper, which was pretty cool. There was also Focus Camera, who they had demos throughout the day using the Rotolight system, which I'd never shot with one of those either, so I took a picture there as well. So it's kind of nice to have a couple of shooting opportunities while you're out there on the show floor. But the highlight was probably this rain photo shoot. And what you had to do was sign up beforehand, because they only allowed, I'd say it was about 10 photographers at a time. And they had this big, it was an enclosed area, but a big area, and kind of had a sprinkler system up above, and it rained down, and then they had a dancer come in and just kind of dance in the rain, and you got to shoot, just kind of shoot the movement and capture it. And this was kind of one of the first times I've done high-speed shooting with my EOS R, and I know it gets knocked a lot for its frame per second and everything, but overall I didn't feel like it lagged, at least for me, but I'm not a sports shooter, so someone that does shoot sports might notice that, especially compared to other cameras that do a high-speed continuous shutter, but overall I was really happy with it. The next upgrade besides the show floor pass is to get the pass that includes the platform classes, and I really, my main focus or goal in mind, I wanted to sit in on a lot of classes that had to do with business, and I was able to find pretty much each time there was a platform class, find one that was more business focused, and there was a lot of great tips that were shared. The platform classes, they kind of start first thing in the morning about 8:30, and then they go until 10, which is when the show floor opens, and so I think it's kind of to get everybody out there on the show floor. And then it was about 4:30 was the next one, and then they would have one a little bit later. It was 6, I think, and then went till about 7:30. So it made for a kind of a long day if you stayed at the show floor the whole day too. But you do have a little bit of downtime there because, like I said, you can see the whole show floor really the first day, and then you can pick and choose what you want to do the next days. But overall, it was really good. I attended. There were a lot more wedding focused platform classes, but they still had lots of good business advice that could apply to a portrait business, and I think it was well worth the upgrade on the cost, and really that's the best way to get the most out of this event, rather than just planning to go down for the show floor. So in conclusion, I really did have a great time. Overall, I felt like it was worth the time to go, and if you've never gone to this event, I definitely highly recommend it, but definitely upgrade just so you can go to the platform classes so you can actually get some more out of it and actually have some notes and things to take home after you're done. And I definitely plan to attend again when the opportunity comes. It looks like the next one is going to be in March next year, and then they've changed this one was at the Mandalay Bay, and they've changed it to the Mirage, which I've never been at the convention center at the Mirage, so we'll see how that goes. But overall, I'm glad I went, learned a lot, and now I've got to start putting some things into practice. I did pick up a posing book that is written by Canon Explorer of Light Lindsay Adler, which I've been meaning to pick up for quite a while. So they not only had a show discount, but they also had a special book signing, so I got to meet her in person for a minute, and that was a really awesome opportunity and thing at the event. So catch you later next time.